An all-new Kindle is amongst us. It has graced us with its presence. Okay, not really, I guess, but it is and it isn't, and we'll explain. This is the 16GB Kindle Colorsoft non-signature edition. What this is the Kindle Paperwhite 16GB shell with the 32GB Colorsoft edition screen moved over onto it, thus making this an all-new incremental unit. How is it different than the signature edition? Well, you'll have to click the video card up above or watch the end roll, but the quick notes version is that it has no wireless charging, no light sensor, and less storage. That's it. But there are some other differences, and for that we'll have to dive in to the 16GB Colorsoft. Really quick, you'll see that all the three Colorsofts are the same, so how are you to understand which one is the 16? Simply flip them over. So you can see here, if we have some markings on the back, like this one, where you see the FCC, the serial number, the recycling no garbage can thing, this is going to be the 2025 32GB Colorsoft with the light sensor. So we'll put that one off to the side. If you look at this one right here, you'll see this one as well has a light sensor, but this one does not have any writing on the back whatsoever. This is going to be the 2024 October Signature Edition Colorsoft. The 16GB will have no light sensor at all, with writing on the back. That is how you know you will be getting the latest 2025 16GB Colorsoft. As you can see here, we have both of our glow lights maxed out and both of our warm lights completely gone with standard color style. This is the exact same shot with the same white balance. You will notice that the 16GB no light sensor up top is actually far more blue in the screen when you turn on the glow light. The LEDs are significantly more blue, so they're cooler on the Kelvin scale. This is more on the reddish to greenish side. You'll see it's quite a stark difference next to each other. And again, this is the exact same shot. You'll just see that this one is far more green on the color wheel. We're not precisely sure why, because these are both the 2025 releases of the two units, but if you do get the 16GB, just be sure to know that it's going to be a little bit more blue than it will be reds or greens or whatever. Also, as you can see here, we're in a completely lit studio, but when you have the glow light off on Kaleido devices, it looks terrible. And that's every single Kaleido device. That's Kobo, that's bigme, that's Onyx, that's ereader, that's HiRead. They look terrible. You have to have the glow light on to a certain degree, and we like to balance it, make it kind of nice and white with that warm light. So we're just going to leave it as such. Now, looking at the home screen, you have all of your apps here, and it's going to be laid out the same way that every other Kindle has been laid out. Getting a closer look, you'll see that the beautiful colors shine through, both literally and figuratively. You can now see the colors on book art, so you don't no longer have to be reserved to the black and white 16GB Paperwhite. You can now get full color. So when you're looking at things, you know, they always say don't judge a book by its cover, but it sure helps to have a whole bunch of color in the mix as well. Now, if you do go to the top drop down here and you choose Vivid, we have played around with this quite a bit, and honestly, there's really not a whole night and day difference between the two. We'll get to a comparison and a split screen side by side later on down in the video when we wrap, but honestly, it's not like a speed mode or a color filter mode or like a color depth or color vividness. It really is just some little parameters that work in the background and change something, and we're not exactly sure what, because it's not making a stark difference between the two modes. There really is just subtlety galore. So you have all of your books and content here, and you have all of your other things at the bottom. Now, it's funny that Amazon only really gives you this much space for you, because the rest is Prime Reading, recommended. This is the store itself here. So they really do want you to go to the store and just buy, subscribe. That is how Amazon makes a lot of their money after the sale of the unit, and typically that's why the units are cheaper. That used to be the case. Now they're kind of expensive, so they're just double dipping now. The Store, however, is unparalleled. You can't get better than the Amazon store. Google Play Books is a very close second, but Amazon just has the most books. They have the best sellers, they got the most quantity, they have the most categories. We're in Japan right now, which is why we registered this to our Japanese account, so a lot of them is going to be in Japanese. But you can see that if you click on something, it'll take you to your buying decision, and then you can buy it, try a sample, add to list. It's going to always update your store based off of where you are, and if an update is pending in the background, that is not a device update, that is a store update. It's just a little bit different. And you have all of your information right here. So the store is going to be your golden ticket to everything you're ever going to want to read on an Amazon Kindle. Now, there is a problem with the color devices. If you're just joining the e-reader world, you might be thinking, well, back in my day, they only had black and white units. Well, you're right. Now we have this color since 2019 prominently. We've really had color since 2009, but Fujitsu Flepia and the Pocketbook color, they don't really count. I mean, this is the new age of color. And you'll see that when you go into a book and you turn that glow light off, watch what happens. Yuck. That looks really bad. It is no longer the whiteness of the Paperwhite. In fact, this is so non-white, you can only call that gray. It's no other color except gray. It's really bad. Doesn't look good at all. It still has the inherent qualities of e-paper, anti-reflectiveness, easy on the eyes, etc., but it doesn't look good. It's not black on white. This is just gray on black, and it really doesn't do it justice. In fact, they say that on the product listing that it's going to be different than the Paperwhite black and white version because there's a color array filter on it. They literally write that. So we recommend, yes, using more battery and balancing it with some warm light. Then it looks pretty good. Are you emitting light? You sure are. You are emitting light at this point, but it looks so much better. And if you can get past that, then you can take advantage of the way a book looks, and you can take advantage of colors, because now you can do your highlights and you can box a whole bunch as well, and you can see you can utilize colors. Before, you couldn't do colors because it was black and white. All you would get is gray. Now you get a whole variety of colors. You only get 4 of them, but it's still nice. It is very nice to have those colors, and you can change them right here. Orange is also very hard to reproduce in Kaleido, and they've done it pretty well. So you get all that, you get your bookmark at the top, and you tap the top to get your text augmentation. You can change your font, you can change your layout, italicize your margins, orientation, and you can go to more and you get some light reading toggles. So all things considered, it's a very good reading experience. In fact, they take it a step further, and if you have the internet connected, you can click on translation and you can go from any language to any language you see on the drop down, and you instantly break down the barriers of reading books because you can now translate from English to simplified Chinese and vice versa. If you have some Chinese content or some Portuguese content, you can transfer the language simply just by translating. And you can do page by page. And if you say, well, you know, that takes a lot of work, well, what I would recommend is going like this, lowering the font size, long press, box a great deal of text, go to here, click translation, and away you go. Does it in a second. You just read it. I mean, that's a really good feature. Even companies like Pocketbook, which are very internationally friendly, you can only do word by word. I mean, this all happened within 16 seconds. I just broke down the entire language barrier of this book. It's quite nice. And the reading experience goes further into manga as well as the color version giving you color. So you can now take full advantage of the cover art. A lot of manga isn't color once you get past the cover. In fact, the majority of it is going to be black and white, except for a few kind of art pages or halfway interruptive pages, notes by the author or what have you. It's going to be black and white. But what Kindle does is allow you to utilize the quick page turn system. And this was pulled from the Japanese exclusive Manga model back in the day. Not all Kindles had this. The Manga model started that system and then they brought it over to the other Amazons. So reading manga is a blast now. It's really quick, it's really snappy, and you take advantage of both black and white like this in full resolution, or if you're reading graphic novels, more of a North American-y type thing, you take advantage of full color. So with the glow light on, of course, it is the best of both worlds. It's the best of one world, color, if you have the glow light on, and if you have the glow light off, it's a terrible world. However, if you find a happy medium, you can just deal with the extra kind of few hours you need to charge the device to account for how much extra battery you used by using the glow light all the time, because you kind of have to. Outside of that, you can basically read anything you want from the Kindle store. You can sideload anything you want. As you see here, we've sideloaded some books. You can purchase anything. You can download samples. You can subscribe to various Amazon services. It really is quite a nice device. And people say a lot of the time, I'm not giving Amazon any of my money because I don't want to buy anything from them. Well, you know, you can buy a Kindle, turn off Wi-Fi all day long, airplane mode that thing, and just sideload books into it. You can do that. You've always been able to do that. You can put PDFs on here. You can use Send to Kindle via their website. You don't have to ever go to the Kindle store, ever. So we're not advocating for Kindle, but we want to kind of shut down that idea that Amazon owns everything on your device. And whether that is true or not for the things purchased from the store, you don't need to go to the store ever. You just don't have to. And there's a couple more things you get here. You get Amazon Kids, you get web browser, and you get settings. Settings are just going to be your traditional settings, and because this doesn't have a light sensor, you're not going to get the light sensor setting right here that you would originally get under screen and brightness on the Signature Edition. Finally, we want to mention that at the bottom, unlike a lot of e-reader manufacturers like Pocketbook, for example, that give you these little extra apps, so to speak, like calendar, calculator, chess, what have you, Amazon doesn't give you any of that. In fact, the only thing they give you is Goodreads that is not on every single device. It does matter where you register your device. For example, we are registered in Japan right now, so we don't get Goodreads. But outside of Goodreads, you only get Library tab, you get your Home tab, and what you are currently reading. So if you wanted anything else, you might say, I'm never going to play chess or have it as a calculator. Well, if you needed it, it's not there because you can't change your experience here. So we have seen a lot of people watch our content and say, isn't this like Onyx where I can sideload in apps? It is not like Onyx. In fact, Amazon exists as one of the only devices that you can't sideload anything in. A lot of manufacturers utilize Android so that you can load in your own apps and stuff. You can even jailbreak it if you want. Amazon exists as one of the devices where you just use it the way they tell you to, and that's it. It's just set it and forget it. You just download books, you go to the store, you purchase books, you sideload in books, and you read books. It is truly an e-reader without ever going any other direction but that. In the end, is the 16 gig Colorsoft that different? Well, yeah, kind of. It's cheaper. And for the people that don't need the additional storage because they only use the cloud services that Amazon offers, 16 gigs is fine. It doesn't bother you down with unnecessary things that you'll never use, like the wireless charging or the light sensor. So it simply exists as more of an economical entry into the Colorsoft world that allows people to be a part of it instead of alienating them with a limited market offering at a high price tag. This is not new for Amazon. They've done this on so many occasions, releasing something, scaling it back to give more people access, and then re-releasing it as an all-new. If you guys have any other questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below, and thanks for watching.